I recently had one of the viewers from my channel ask me for some tips on toilet training or potty training their Finnish Spitz. There's a few tips I can offer. One of the things we found with Minnie when we first got her was that she was struggling to communicate with us. She just didn't seem to be able to tell us when she needed to use the washroom. To get around this problem, we discovered an easy solution. We went out and bought a little strip of bells, like sleigh bells, and we attached them to the patio door. And now the dogs know that if they want to go out, they can go over and bang the bells with their nose. And it made a huge difference in trying to train Minnie. So just as an example, I'm standing here in the kitchen, and let's see if we can get the dog's attention. All right, where are the dogs? Come here. Who wants to go out? Go out? Do you want to go out? And see, there's the bells. Show me. Someone show me. Good boy, Tippy. You want to show me again? Good boy. All right. And off they go. It's hard to find footage of it, but what I find with the Finnish Spitzes is they're very intelligent and they do communicate what's going on in their heads to you. So for example, if Tippy needs to go outside, he will come and actually sit beside me, look at me a certain way and bark a certain way, and it's abundantly clear that that's his I want to go outside bark. Minnie, on the other hand, responded much better to having the jingle bell available at the door and uses it quite frequently. One thing that we have had to do to make sure that they use it consistently is any time that that she jingles it, we do have to get up and let her out so she understands that she does have this mode of communication available. These dogs are also very sensitive. Tippy is just sort of laying around in the yard today. It's quite a hot day here in Canada. When we first got Tippy, I was sitting beside him and I was trying to pick something up and my hand slipped, and Tippy inadvertently got hit in the face with my hand as I yanked my hand back. He was so upset that he walked about 3 feet away from me and threw up all over the floor. So that gives you a sense of how emotionally sensitive these dogs are, and anyone who owns them really needs to understand that, and you'll have a much happier dog and you'll have a much happier owner. Another simple thing that we did when training the dogs was to make it very clear what they were doing that we liked and what they were doing that we didn't like. So anytime we took the dogs outside and they, used the outside as the washroom, which is obviously what we preferred, we were very exuberant in our praise. I think the neighbors thought we were slightly crazy, but anytime they would go out and do what they should have been doing, we would say, good boy, good girl, good pee-pee, just something so that they understood that we were happy with what they were doing, and also in particular the location that they were doing it in. The other suggestion I can make is if you're trying to litter train your dog, potty train your dog, if the dog is bound to have accidents. Dogs can be slow to mature mentally, and sometimes younger puppies just don't have the mental capacity to understand what you're trying to get through to them, or the physical capacity to hold things in for very long. So you need to be very patient with them and understand that it will get better. If the dog is having accidents in the house, a good thing to do is to try to catch them in the act and pick them up immediately. Yes, and put them outside. Tell them they're doing a good thing when they're doing it inside. Make it abundantly clear through the tone of your voice or whatever that they shouldn't be doing it inside. We would typically pick them up and grumble at them, and then once we put them outside and they finished, then they would know that we were happier with them doing it outside. Between the two dogs, I would say in litter training them, Tippy maybe had 1 or 2 accidents. Tippy was 6 months old when we first got him, and Minnie possibly had 4 or 5, and that was it through the extent of their training, because they're very smart dogs and always looking to understand how to make you happy. When training your Finnish Spitz, you need to understand that they will have a certain amount of time after they eat that they can go without going outside, and then they will simply need to go outside, especially in the case of puppies. They just physically have a certain amount of food and water that they can comfortably hold. One of the things to watch for is signals that your dog will give you that your dog needs to go out. These will include sniffing, wandering in a circle, and whatever other behaviors your own particular dog may exhibit. Here's a shot of Tippy. I'm not getting him doing any circling behaviors because he's been out for a little while yet. If you're trying to outside train a puppy, one of the things you can do is try something called umbilical training, where the puppy's with you, but the puppy's on a little leash all the time. This will give you the chance to interrupt any sort of bad bathroom behaviors that may be going on when you're in the house. It will also remind you that when the dog's a puppy, you need to take it outside frequently, because every time the dog makes a mess in the house, in the dog's mind, it's learning that maybe that's an okay thing to do. Also, if the dog does happen to make a mess in the house, be sure to clean it up quickly. Don't let the dog watch you clean it up, because the dog, the Finnish Spitz, will think that he's given you something to do, and maybe it's amusing, and maybe this is a behavior that's worth repeating because it's given his owner some sort of activity to do. We also tried to teach the dogs early on the meaning of the word outside. So anytime we took the dogs out a door, we would say, do you want to go outside? Let's go outside. So they quickly learned the difference between where they normally were, which was in the house, and outside. This helped us when we were teaching them to use the bell, because we would say, do you want to go outside? And they, of course, would bark and tell us they did. And they would have to ring the bell in order to make us open the door to let them go outside. So it's part of it is teaching the dog some vocabulary that they can use to communicate with you.